Hey everyone, we have seen how we can extend the classes and inherit the behavior from the superclass. When creating inheritance hierarchy, we can also extend the built-in classes to inherit the behavior of those base classes. Let's try creating our own text input class. This class is going to hold string data, but we also want to extend its functionality beyond Python's built-in string class. So text input is a kind of string. Whenever there is a relationship which feels like is a, that's when we should be using inheritance. In our case, our text input class is a kind of string. So this can be implemented using inheritance. So let's define our own class text input. It extends from the built-in string class from Python, and in the class body, let's simply write pass. Now I can create an instance of this text input class, text equals text input, and in the input text we can pass any string. Here I simply write this is another text. It's not a very useful text, but it will work for this example. Now if I type text dot, we can see all these methods are available in this text input class. These are all inherited from the base string class. I can try text.title and let's print it. You can see that it converts this input text into title case. We can also implement our own methods in this class. So let's add a method that returns unique words in the string. Def get unique words. Now in the implementation of this method, I'm going to write return self.split. So this will give me a list of words and I want the unique words from that specific list. So I have to convert them to a set that will return me the unique words in this string. Let's print its result to verify. Print text.get unique words, and let's remove this text.title printing. If I run this, we can see that it returns a set. But what happens if I have a string that occurs multiple times? For example, let's modify this input text. Let's remove this text and let's write this here. And if I run this code, we can see that it returns this 2 times. It is case sensitive, so in the output, it will return 2 separate words. To solve this, we have to first lowercase the text and then split it. Now if I run this, it returns the correct result. Let's implement one more method, getWordCount, and in this method implementation, we can make use of the same logic. So I write return self.split, and then we can return the length of this list. Let's try printing its result here at the bottom, and let's execute the code, and we get back 4 as expected. We can also make use of the built-in classes in our own classes. Many of the complex data structures like stacks and priority queues are implemented in Python using these built-in data structures. In this video, we are not going to take a look into those more advanced data structures, but we will implement a very basic SOP class that makes use of the Python dictionary to keep track of inventories. Let's define a class SOP. Inside this class, we want to keep track of inventory. That will be item and how many items we have in stock. Dictionary is a very good candidate for storing this kind of information in the form of a key value pairs. So let's create a init method, and inside this init method we create an attribute items that will be initialized to empty dictionary. Of course, a shop will require a lot more functionalities, but in this simple example, this should be enough. Now we need ways to add an item in stock. For that, let's create add method. It will be used to add an item in the inventory, and let's also provide the number of items as arguments. Inside the method body, we want to increase the in-stock item count if it's available, else we just want to add this given number of items in the inventory items. For this, we can write self.items.getItem. This will return the count of this item in the inventory, and then we want to add given number of quantities into this stock. And finally, we can assign it to our stock's inventory items. Now, if this item is not present, this expression returns none. But we can also provide 0 as default value. If the item is not present in the inventory, it will count it as 0. And if the stock is available for that specific item, it will take the count of that item. Now let's also implement a method to remove an item from the inventory. This is useful when we sell that specific item. Def remove, and it takes item, and we also want to specify the quantity of the item. It will have the same logic as our add method, but in this case we can reduce the stock count. Let's test it out. Let's create our eShop. It will have all the electronics items. eShop equals shop. eShop.add iPhone XS, and it will be 2 in quantity. Let's also add 3 Samsung S10 cell phones. And let's try removing 1 iPhone XS from our inventory. And finally, let's print eShop.items. Let's run this code and see if we get the correct results. And we can see that it has only 1 iPhone XS because we removed 1 in this line. Now there are a couple of problems with this code. Let's add iPhone XS by typing it like this, and I add one of these. If we check the inventory by running this code, you can see that there are 2 entries for iPhone XS. To fix this, we have to convert input items to lowercase. So let's replace this to item.lower, and the same goes in this as well. We also have to fix our remove method with the same logic in these 2 places. Another problem that we have is that we can remove an item even though we don't have that item in stock. If I try to remove iPhone X, even though we don't have iPhone X in our stocks, we can see that at the end we have iPhone X inventory of -1. This is not good. We cannot sell an item if we don't have it in stock. To avoid this problem, we have to first validate that we have given number of quantities in stock before removing them. So here I can write if self.items.get item.lower is greater than or equal to quantity, then only we have to reduce the count of this item. So this logic goes inside this if block. Now if I run this code, it runs perfectly fine. Here we don't get any notification that we don't have this iPhone X in our stock. Ideally, we should be throwing an exception when the in-stock quantity is less than the quantity we are trying to remove. But in this very simple example, we didn't throw any exception. So this is how you can use the built-in classes in your own classes. I hope this video was informative for you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video.